Welcome to the City Current Show, powered by Higginbotham Insurance and Financial Services.
This show focuses on sharing good news and powering the good in our community. Now here's your host, City Current CEO, Jeremy Park.
Welcome back to the City Current Show, powered by Higginbotham. I'm your host, Jeremy Park. We're always honored to bring you inspiring stories of individuals and organizations making a difference and powering the good. And that's why we're honored to be talking about Les Passees. We're joined by Karyn Whittington, 2024 Les Passees President. How are you doing?
I'm great, Jeremy. Thank you so much for having me. How are you?
Doing well. You all do so much good, and we get to talk about a big event that everyone can plug in and help give back and make a difference. So I'm excited for that for sure. But let's start with a little bit of history for Les Passees. Give us some background.
Well, Les Passees has been around a long time. We started in Memphis in 1910. We had a sweet group of women who were probably in their 30s, but felt like they were passé, which we have to laugh about now. And they really wanted to serve the city. They saw a lot of needs, specifically for children, and started a club, and it just grew. By 1919 is when they had really come officially up with the name Les Passees, and they grew. And we have such an interesting history through the 20s and 30s. Helped a lot with tuberculosis. That seemed to be an issue, that there was a lot of struggles with children in Memphis, and that's where they spent a lot of their time, focusing on raising money, doing all sorts of things within the city. And then they started building buildings. And from there, especially in the 40s and 50s, we got more involved with cerebral palsy. And even in 1950, had a huge facility for cerebral palsy children. And then they even added on for adults for that. And so for a long time, that was really our focus. We would do other things within the city. We had galas, we had fun social things. That was really the focus.
When you look at the focus of helping women and children in terms of organizations, nonprofits that give back, talk about that side and through the service and the grants.
Well, when we had the city come in of Memphis and they kind of took over the medical side of it, we thought, what are all the other ways we can help? Because that is our mission statement. We advocate for children and their families in Memphis. And education seemed to be an area that there was a lot of need. We partnered with the Harwood Center for a while, and that's exactly, they would work with special need children. And then when they became under the umbrella of University of Memphis is when we decided to do a grantee program. So we are currently, we're accepting applications now. It's on our website, and we have some pretty specific deadlines, and we will make our decision in October based on the applications we got this year. And we run them through. We have a group, and we just see how does this, their project requests, more than just we would like some money. It was more, we have a specific project. So we compare that to our mission statement. And if they align, then it's very hard, because we are attached to quite a few programs in the city. And that is how we determine our grants. And like this year, our grants were the Madonna Learning Center, the Neighborhood Christian Center, and Multinational Memphis. They each presented us with projects that we just fell in love with, really could align ourselves with, and that is how we determined to give them grant money.
Talk about one of the other programs that I think is really cool, Kids on the Block.
Yes, our Kids on the Block program. So Kids on the Block was it was a franchise that back in the 80s, we had a member who was an educator, and she thought it was just such a neat program. And she brought it to us, and the club loved it. And it was first started by a teacher who wanted to talk to her students about special needs. She had a student in a wheelchair, and the other kids just couldn't quite relate to him. So she created out of PVC pipes a little wheelchair, and the puppets wear size 4T toddler clothes. I mean, they're larger puppets, and she was able to kind of talk to her kids. He's just like you. And the kids would relate to the puppets and ask the puppets questions. So it has grown into a whole lot more. It's a whole division of Les Passees now. They're called the Les Passees Kids on the Block Puppets. We go to schools. We go to libraries. We actually now mingle with our grantees. So we've gone to the Neighborhood Christian Center, and we've done numerous things with them. So we really connect. We'll show up at a fun run. Our puppets are everywhere. Our executive director, Elisa Moran, is phenomenal of coming up with great ideas and ways to touch kids. And every year, thousands of kids see these puppets, and younger kids get to see the puppets and maybe learn about fire safety, some simpler things, stranger danger. But then they have programs even for some of the older kids to talk about bullying and, again, special needs. She's working on some exciting curriculums right now, and we're getting grants. The puppets themselves are getting grants to work on special projects. We started when COVID hit, we had to do more online. So we've got some YouTube videos. So we've really made a lot of progress, and they're really fun.
Share a little bit of your personal story and what attracted you to the organization.
Well, we had moved to Memphis from Birmingham, and I had two small children, and I wanted something that would help me learn about Memphis, to be honest. We lived kind of out in our little area, same school, same church, same Target, and I really wanted to get to know women, and I've always loved to serve. It's kind of just something I did through my college years, my early years, and a friend invited me to Les Passees, and I joined, and that was in 2009, and I've just loved it. It's just such a great way to meet like-minded people. And again, it's fun. We have fun, but we have a big cause. But the history is also so interesting. Every time I go through our attic and I see the things that we've been involved in for over 100 years, it's wonderful to see it. And I'm so glad now that I'm an empty nester that I forged all these relationships and plugged in somewhere.
Well, there's a big event we get to talk about. And so go ahead and talk about the history of the stock exchange, the importance of it for funding the mission and the efforts and the grants, and then we'll talk about the logistics.
Okay. Yeah. So stock exchange is what makes it all happen. Back in the 80s, a group of members decided to try something new, and I think they were in an office building actually, and they just had some really nice furniture that they had people come in to purchase, and they turned it into a consignment sale, just nice high-end furniture. And from there, it has grown and grown that now we need 20,000 square feet to keep everything contained that we have. And the funds from that, it is a consignment sale. So we keep 30% and the consigner takes 70% of their sales. So with that 30% is where we get our proceeds to fund our grantees. And we accept all kinds of things. It's not just furniture, dishes, china, draperies, pillows. We've even had furs and jewelry at times. So there's just so much available, and it's very well known. And I know, being new to town, I would hear stock exchange and not know what it was. And people go, oh yeah, we've been doing that for years. So it has really grown.
For those who have items that they want to be a part of this stock exchange, talk about that process and that timing.
Yes. So we have already opened. We're accepting items for consignment, and we ask that people make an appointment, and all that's on our website. So you would bring your items in. If you go to our website, you would see you need to list them, and then we sit down with you. We type them into the computer, get a little more information, sometimes price them, and they're tagged and put on the floor. So it's very easy, and people do not have to donate their items. If they don't sell, they can come back and pick them up. But we have so many items sell. We have 15 to 20,000 shoppers come through in the 6 to 8 weeks stock exchange open. So we sell a lot.
I know that the deadline on that end is September 6th, but you can actually take donations all the way through. And so all the way through basically until the end of October. Talk about then kind of a first glance, a first look opportunity for the shoppers.
So we have something that's very well known called Preview Party, and we're so excited. We're making plans now. We have entertainment, we have food. You have to buy a ticket. Tickets are $30, or you can pay at the door for $35. And Preview Party is where we prepare our showroom for shoppers. Everything we've gotten in, like I said, we've been accepting things for consignment for about a week and a half, 2 weeks almost now. And it will all be set up, beautiful vignettes, and people that buy tickets can come and pre-shop. And we have food. And like I said, entertainment, it's a fun night. And so that will be September the 5th. Then the next day, September the 6th, as you said, is our official grand opening day. And our hours are 10 to 4, Tuesday through Saturday for shopping. And we are open on Sundays also from 1 to 4. So yes, preview party is our shining night. It's so much fun and we can't wait. And it's a lot of work, but we're excited about it.
Talk about then kind of the end of it in terms of the deadline there. So making sure people know, like, you got to get in early, obviously, like we're talking about the preview party, but also to the staffing, like the volunteers and what it requires to be able to pull this off.
Well, it does require a lot of volunteers because the consigning part is ongoing. We will be accepting items that people bring in up until, a week or so before we close, which will be October the 31st. So that's why we have so many shoppers, because they know it's constantly being refreshed. Stuff is going out the door and a bunch of stuff is coming in. I mean, we have our people in the back sitting at computers. They're working right now, accepting items. It is so busy, and we start preparing in the spring usually, because our first hurdle is finding a location, because since the 80s, we have been so blessed that someone has donated the area for us. We will pay the utilities, but we are so appreciative to the Bells Corporation this year because they have allowed us to be in this fabulous location. One of the best locations we could have asked for. It's large, it's bright and shiny, tons of wall space for the art that we have coming in. So it takes a lot because we have people. That's what's so fun about being a member of Les Passees. What is your skill? If you have some design talent, we can use you. Are you computer savvy? We can use you. There's so much that goes into it. Even, having to work with social media and advertise and promote what we have. So it takes a lot of people bringing in their skill sets, but it works.
Yeah, and that's a lot of really good insight too, is one, everyone can play a role and, play to their strengths, because you can use everyone's strengths to be able to pull this off and make it a big success. But, success allows you to be able to provide these grants to support the nonprofits and the efforts that impact the community. And I think that's a huge piece of this. And like you said, keep coming back and shopping because the items constantly change.
Right. And people are not obligated to leave their items. So if, getting at the end of October, they haven't sold, they're welcome to come get them. But what we see happen so much is people will come to pick up maybe a few items of theirs that haven't sold and end up leaving with someone else's. So yes, we have a lot of habitual shoppers. I'm one of them. You just never know what you're going to find.
Yeah, well, hey, it's shopping for a cause. So that's good.
Exactly.
Carry that into, for women who are listening and saying, this sounds really exciting to be a member. What does membership in Les Passees entail?
That is a great question. And if they are interested, come check out Stock Exchange, because it'll really let you meet the members and just kind of get an idea of who we are and what we do. And our website is a treasure trove of information too about us. It's easy to be a member. There's some minimal financial obligations, but a lot of it is just, time. I mean, and our newer members have more of a time commitment and a requirement. And then when you've been in longer, we just choose to show up. And that's what I love. And that's one reason I did join, is when I went to my first membership information party, the people that were there had been in not 5 years, not 10 years, many of them 20 years. They stayed because they loved it. It wasn't after so many years, I'm done, I'm moving on. It's just a love. It just gets in your blood. It really does.
Carry that into how your membership, your involvement has transformed your view of Memphis and your view of yourself in terms of being a catalyst to create positive change. So how has being involved in Les Passees changed you?
Oh, that is a great question. I think it has shown me that when you're with a group of people and you all have the same focus and the same cause that you're dedicated to, you can just get so much done. I just remember I would come home and tell my husband, you would not believe what these women can do. Just the positivity. And we have women come in from all walks of life. We've got women who are a CEO of a company or a CFO of a school. And it's just what we bring together. It's blown my mind. And to think that has gone on for all these years. I mean, our club has just been around for a long time and survived wars and, hard times. And we've still been here. It's taught me so much about Memphis. Cause like I said, I didn't know. I'm not a native Memphian, and I have learned so much. And, sometimes when you're in the suburb, you don't know a lot about the actual Memphis, and it has such an impressive history. And I'm so glad I've got to learn about it. And I'm so glad Les Passees has been a part of it. In fact, Les Passees even did a tour book called Reflections of a River Town back in the 60s. And then they brought it back later with a tour guide. So we've really made, Les Passees loves Memphis, and they have for a
I
long
think
time.
that's the beautiful thing is we talk about it all the time is the relationships. The relationships you form by serving create these friendships that really transform your view of the city and of yourself. And I think that's what makes it really special. And so carry that into social media, website. Where do we go to learn more about obviously the stock exchange, Les Passees? So where do we go to learn more and get involved?
Well, great question. So if you want to learn everything you ever wanted to know about Les Passees, I would go to our website, which is lpmemphis.org. And from there, you will learn about our events. You will learn about our grantees. We try to keep that as up to date as possible. We are on Facebook. We have Les Passees Inc. We have our Facebook page, and then we also have a Les Passees Stock Exchange page. And those will give you up to date, have pictures. Once we start getting cool merchandise in, we might snap a photo of a vignette of new things we got in. Like I just had someone show me something that came in yesterday, and I can't wait for them to put it on our Facebook page. A lot of teasers, I guess. And we're also on Instagram too, LP Memphis. So we are all over the place, and we love to hear from people, and we thank you for letting us talk about what we do. And yes, we are trying to take advantage of everything possible technology wise to share what we have. We also will have a publication come out. We do a stock exchange magazine. We are finalizing that this week. And so that will be out, and hopefully people will find them through the community. We try to leave them in doctor's offices and different places there too. So.
Well, definitely love and appreciate everything you all are doing to power the good. So, Karyn, thank you for everything you do. Thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you, Jeremy. It was a pleasure.
Higginbotham Insurance and Financial Services is proud to power the City Current Show. We're a people-first company that protects what matters most, the families, businesses, and trailblazers that keep our community going. As one of the nation's top independent insurance firms, Higginbotham is a single-source solution for business insurance, employee benefits, HR services, and personal insurance that's customized for you. We're here to serve you, the people you care about, and your community. Call 866-377-1959 or visit higginbotham.com.